It's my last day in van. Just getting over a cold. To be honest, I'm gonna miss all this, bro. I'm gonna miss it. Give you all one last little tour. This is the Kieu. If you know, you know. Now we are walking down Fraser Street, in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying?
Ho Chi Minh today is 2 hours and 7 minutes.
If you're watching this video and you hear that hammering, I'm back. Looking leaner and meaner. The only difference is this is gonna be my 9th month. I'm not sick anymore. John Viet. And instead of me talking about my next chapter, which I actually will, stay tuned, the next video, we going somewhere. But in this video, I want to talk to you exactly about how I made the move and how you can actually make the move to Vietnam as well. Because looking at all this information, there isn't a person who's actually Vietnamese who went through the process and can give you the actual breakdown in a way where it's like, you can trust me. So the easiest way of how you move to Vietnam is you have to understand the visa situation, passport, and how you get into the country. So the first thing is when you go to and look at all the visas, there's the tourist visa. You want to look at that first. You have the 1 month and the 3 month. Both of these visas are exactly for that time, and you decide whether or not you want a single entry, meaning you come to the country once and then you leave, that's it, or you want multiple entries, and then all you need to do is apply on the government website. I think it is evisa.gov.vn. That's their new website now. It used to be like another longer label, but I'll leave that in the description below so you can actually look at that. As well as if you are an overseas Vietnamese person living in the Canada, US, Australia, the UK, anywhere abroad, Vietnamese diaspora across the world, you can sign up for something which is a 6-month visa exemption. What this means is as long as one of your parents is Vietnamese, has a passport, ID card, what you can do is you take that, you go to your embassy, your local Vietnamese embassy within your city, your country, and you apply for the Vietnamese visa exemption. And that's what I have. This allows you to be in the country for 6 months. And after 6 months, a lot of these people do, whether you're in a 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, it's called a visa or a border run. What happens is you go to a neighboring country, maybe you take a bus to Cambodia, you go to Thailand, maybe you make a trip out to Korea, Japan, come back into the country, get another stamp on your passport. Those 180 days, the 1 month, 3 month, gets renewed, you come back, whether it's a multiple entry, or if you're on a five-year exemption, 6-month visa, your 180 days, your 6 months, gets rolled over and pushed. So it's like, oh, now I can stay here for another 6 months. So those are the basic visas. So you have your 1 month, you can do it for a 3-month tourist visa. You have your, if you're Vietnamese, you have a 6-month visa exemption, would last for 5 years. And if you're Vietnamese living abroad and you want to live in Vietnam, I highly suggest you go that route. You can sign up with a bank account with this as well. You can even rent a place and lease. There's also 2 other ways that no one ever talks about, is the resident card, the temporary work permit visa, which means you go and find a company here that is willing to sponsor you. And once they hire you, they go through the visa process and they take care of everything. And now they sponsor you. You have a work permit, a business visa. That business visa converts to a resident card. And then now you don't have to do no silly border run, and you're here for 2 years, gets renewed. And then the other one is you can essentially sponsor yourself. So if you are nomadic, self-employed, you have your own business, you can apply for residency, sponsor your own self, so you can not only have that temporary resident card, you can give your temporary resident card to your employees and be based out of Vietnam. So visa situation aside, that is the information that you need. You have to figure out, okay, do I really want to live here, or do I just want to test it out? So I highly recommend you do a tourist visa route. If you want to live here a little longer, 6 months, and you're Vietnamese, definitely get that visa exemption. It is a must. You need passport photos, you need your parents' passports, their ID cards from Vietnam. Link in description. Get my Vietnam survival guide. That will help you exactly what you need. Literally everything from SIM card, passport, visas, how you make money, which district to live in, especially in Saigon. But I'll be expanding that a little soon. So once you have your visa situation aside, you figure, okay, maybe I just want to go visit for a bit, right? Go on a tourist visa. Come here. And a lot of times when it comes to visa situations, Vietnam does not offer visa on arrival unless in emergency situations. So what you need to do is you need to apply for this online, have this ahead of time, and then you go to your embassy as well. And you can just do it. They put the stamp on your passport, you're ready to enter the country. The next thing is, how do you actually move here is you find a place. How do you find a place? Facebook groups, friends, make sure you bring Vietnamese friends, understand that whole system. I've been scammed a couple times. You gotta learn. Bring your possessions, figure out what you need to bring. Clothes, things you need to buy, and then figure out, okay, I'm in the country now, and now what, right? That's what you need to figure out, how I'm gonna make money. Do you wanna get a job here? Do you want to teach English? Do you want to be nomadic? Figure out that route. Because don't come to Vietnam. I'll probably make a longer video of that, but this is just because it's cheap, right? It's cheap to you. Is it really cheap to the locals? There's so much amounts of privilege when you enter any country where the currency is different. So that's something to take into consideration. But all that information, I remember when I first moved to Vietnam and I finally did it, I was always DMing people who were living there. I'm like, how do you move to Vietnam? How did you do this? Did you need to bring this? Do you need blah, blah? I'm posting on Facebook groups. I'm posting on this, looking for forums, going on Reddit. It was just the information was, yeah, sure, it's free, but it was everywhere. And which is why I made the Vietnam survival guide, where it's okay, if you want to move to Vietnam, Saigon, Hanoi, wherever, you buy the guide. This is exactly all the information you need. Passports, visas, how much money to bring. The more the merrier, but I highly suggest you bring on hand with you at least the maximum, which is 5,000 USD, and then making sure you have which app so you can transfer and sign up for a bank account and this. It is a lot. And once you settle in, they're okay, now you can breathe. But there's so much logistics, which is why I made the guide. And that is the exact way of looking at the visas, getting into Vietnam and figuring out, what is it that really intrigues me about this country? Why do I want to be here? Or is it something that, I want to cross off the bucket list? And now what? It's something that you need to decide and figure out. And which is why I'm back in this apartment. But if you noticed, I'm not coughing as much or any more whatsoever. I'm bald. I have a little alopecia. But we're gonna be on the move. Have my suitcase. Stay tuned for the next video. See where we're gonna go. The journey continues. I came back to Vietnam very easily because now the fact that I did it once, the most stressful part is being here and going through all that headache. But now that I've done it, I know what it's like. Do you guys want a room tour? Do you guys want a neighborhood tour? I'll show you what's next. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Peter. I am a Vietnamese Canadian Chinese born. Wait, I'm Vietnamese Chinese Canadian who decided to uproot his entire life and start over and reset. And if this journey inspires you, I appreciate you. And if it doesn't, but I'm just documenting my experience. Join the Discord, join the family. Link in the description below. Join the Patreon. Any tier, you'll get access. You can talk to me directly, and the journey continues, bro. The journey continues. That's all I want to say, because I know there's a lot of questions about that. I want to help you, help me. But in the next video, we going. And I totally forgot about things, talking about like canceling your subscriptions. For example, if you want to keep your phone number, how do you do that? Things like making sure you have a credit card, 2 credit cards, emergency, funds. We're talking about like, do you want to be a non-resident or you want to be a resident of your country still because of tax person? All that stuff in the guide, bro. I talk about it in the guide. It will help you. So if you're, oh man, I just stepped in my own puddle. If you're still watching, right now I am going to pack, right? I just came back and now I'm going again. And I leave in exactly 12 hours, something like that. And I'm gonna be meeting someone. Actually, a lot of someones. A couple people I wanna hit up and hear some really interesting stories, because the thing is, when I open up and be vulnerable on the internet, it's like, oh my God, feelings, right? Oh my God, what's so special about you, Peter? Is that it gives the space for you guys to share with me. So now, I'm gonna be telling some of your guys' stories. And the city that I'll be going to is actually the first time that I'll be ever going here. I've never been outside to the city and this far up. So that's a little hint. Y'all can guess where I'm going. I'll be talking to 2 viewers, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be seeing a special friend. But let's get this show on the road. Hey, pack the fidget spinner for my anxiety.